Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is a series of videos about SolidWorks scripting using Python. And in this video, we are going to talk about feature tab. Let me create a new part first. In this video, we are going to talk about how to extrude and how to edit it. And in the next videos, we are going to talk about rest of them, such as revolve, extruded cut and others. But in this video, we are going to cover how to create the extrusion and how to edit it. I like to mention that working with features tab is much more harder than working with a sketch because features are very complicated and you need to specify a lot of different arguments to create a one simple extrude. We will see it in the rest of the video. First, I'm going to create a very simple sketch. For example, a rectangle. I'm going to sketch a rectangle here and okay. Now I have a very simple rectangle. I'm going to save my part on desktop and I'm going to use macro. I recommend you to use macro in features tab because when you want to select a sketch, when you want to select a point or other stuff, there are some different when you wanted to select a sketch in a sketch tab. So I prefer to use macro in every move I take. Okay, I start macro. First, I'm going to select my sketch and then I'm going to click extrude. And for depth, I'm going to say, for example, 44 millimeters. I think is okay. And okay. And then stop the macro, save it, and open it. As you can see, we have two main lines here. First, SolidWorks or macro is selecting the sketch and then uses feature extrusion 2 to create the extrusion for us. So I'm going to copy these two lines and paste it here. Let me fix that. Okay, here. I'm going to paste it here and first I'm going to run my libraries and then connect SolidWorks to Python. I don't want this line, so I'm going to delete it and then, okay. I need to fix this Python comp.nothing. Let me see. The rest of the codes are okay. Let me search for feature extrusion 2. And as you can see, this function has a lot of arguments. As you can see here, there are a lot of arguments we need to specify to be able to create a simple extrusion. Okay, search for it in API help. And I think this is okay, extrusion 2 or extrusion 3. There is no difference between their arguments and we can see their arguments here. You can go through all of these arguments. There are a lot of options. And for example, if I want to show you, if I want to, for example, create a new extrusion, you can see we have different options here, different options there, and this is depth, and we have direction 2, selected contours, or even draft. And as you can see, we should specify a lot of arguments here. I'm not going to cover all of them, and I want just to cover this one, which is very important for extrusion, and it's a depth or D1. Let me show it here. And as you can see it here, we can change this argument to reach different depths in our extrusion. Okay, let me test it here. I'm going to change this. For example, 50 millimeters. I'm going to convert it to meters here. And let me delete this extrude and rearrange my windows. Okay, let's run this block of code. As you can see, it first select this sketch, and then using this function, it creates a very simple extrusion for us. And for the depth, we chose 50 millimeters, and we can see it here. So this function works perfectly. The next step is how to edit an extrusion. For example, we have this extrude 2 here, but we want to edit it. For example, we want to change its depth, or we want to change its sketch. For example, this sketch has two different parameters, this one and this one. So we want to change it. For example, we have a project that we need to change the sketch and the depth of our rectangle in different ways, and then save our part. So what should we do? First, I'm going to cover how to edit the sketch. It is very simple, as we saw it in previous videos, how to add and editing dimensions. I'm going to set two dimensions for this rectangle. Okay. And I'm going to copy their name, and I'm going to write a code to change these two dimensions. First, I'm going to create a new block. I'm going to paste these two codes, and then I'm going to replace the name of the sketch, or I'm sorry, the name of the dimensions. And here we can see this dimension is around 75 millimeters, and I want to change it to, for example, 50 millimeters. I'm going to convert it to meters here. Let me exit this sketch and rearrange my windows. Okay, now I'm going to run this block of code. As you can see, we have a rebuild warning here. So SolidWorks tries to change the dimensions, but we need to rebuild it. So I'm going to add these codes here, and we saw that this code enables us to rebuild our document. So I'm going to run this code. And as you can see, now we are able to edit the sketch for extrusion. I'm going to cut this code and paste it here. And I'm going to try another number, for example, 80. I'm going to run this block. And as you can see, with just one block, we are now able to edit this extrusion. I'm going to do the same for this dimension. I'm going to copy its name, copy this block of code, paste it here, and replace the name. And it is 161 millimeters. And I'm going to say, for example, 150 millimeters. Let me run this block of code. And as you can see, now we are able to change these two parameters for this extrusion. Okay, but how to change the depth of this extrusion? Sometimes, and I think it's most important for an extrusion to change its depth, because we learned how to change the sketch in the previous videos, but we don't know how to change the depth of a extrusion. First, let me search it in API help, and let's have a look for return value. As we can see, the return value is I feature, and we can click on it, and it says go to members at the bottom of the page, and we can see here different members it has. And let me search for depths, but unfortunately we can't find any depths here. So it means if I use depths or get depths or set depths, even set depths, we are not able to change the depths of this extrusion. So what should we do? First, let me return to the first page here, extrusion page. Unlike a sketch that were very easy to edit, in features tab, it is not very straightforward to edit the extrusion. And we need to write more lines of codes to be able to edit the extrusion. And let me write these codes here. First, I'm going to create a new block of code here, and I'm going to write the codes first and then explain them line by line. Okay, these 5 lines almost enable us to edit a feature. The first line is selection manager. We talked about in the previous video, so you can go watch them for the explanation. The second one is select by ID, which select this extrusion. Its name is box extrude 2, so I put a box extrude 2 here. The third one is get selection object 5. I'm going to search it in API help here. As you can see, I use a get selection object 5 and it just gets one index or one argument. But here we have get select object 6, but we are not going to use it. But we can see this function get the selected object. So it means using this function we are able to get an object from our selection. The next one is get definition. Let me search for it here. And as you can see, this function enables us to get some information or sort data from our object. And the last one is access selection. And it is here. It gains access to us to edit our feature. Okay, now we are able to edit our feature. But how to find proper function to edit it? Let me show you something here. I'm going to first search for feature extrusion 2 or even 3. And at the bottom of page, you can see something called feature extrusion. No, I'm sorry. I extrude feature data to interface. If I click on it, we can see something called I extrude feature data to members. And here we have a lot of function which enable us to edit our feature. The most important one is get depths and set depths. With these two functions, we are able to get the depths and then edit it and use set depths to apply it. So I'm going to use get depths first and get the depths of our extrusion and then double it, and using set depths apply it to our extrusion. I'm going to write rest of code in this block. Okay, in these 5 new codes, I'm going first to get depths in the forward direction. And let me show it here. Get depths. It just gets one argument and it can be true or false. True for forward feature direction and false for the reverse direction. So I'm going to use true for the forward direction. Then we have set depths. The first argument is true or false for the forward direction, and the reverse direction we are going to use true for forward direction. And the second one is the new depths we want to apply to our extrusion. We have something called modified definition. Let me search it here. And using this function, we able to update the definition of the feature. So it means we are able to apply our changes. It gets three arguments. The first one is data, which is the object related to our feature. The first one is part, which is the document or top document we are working on. And the last one is component, and it says we should see remarks. And in remarks, because we are in a part, we should pass nothing or not. So I'm going to pass nothing in the third argument. And the last one is release selection access. And using this function, we are able to continue to create new features or a sketch in our document. And at last, we are going to use edit build tree to rebuild our documents. So I'm going to cut this block and paste it here. Let me rearrange my windows. Okay. And I'm going to run this block of code. And we expect that after running this block, the depth of this feature, which is 15 now, become 100 millimeters. So I'm going to run this block of code. And after 3 seconds, we can see we are now able to edit our feature. And the depth of this feature becomes 100 millimeters. Okay guys, this is the end of this video. In this video, we talked about how to create new extrusion, how to edit its sketch, and how to edit its depth or even other parameters. See you guys in the next videos, and goodbye.